So Uzair, welcome. Thanks for joining. I'm going to start off with a very controversial question. There's this question we see a lot in the market. A lot of people asking, is digital transformation real? या ये ऐसी शो डाला हुआ है लोगों ने? And do you actually believe that it's helping in the growth of business? And if yes, how?
What we have heard today. Thank you, Navid, for inviting me. Before I start, I must say a very important question that was asked in the morning about expectations. My expectation was to be inspired, and what I've heard since morning, there are a number of success stories that have really inspired me. Regarding question, I think a more relevant question that must be in the audience the audience that's sitting in front of you. It would be, is it just incremental growth we're talking about, or are we talking about transformational growth? Are we talking about new opportunities being created? And we heard today that yes, this later is correct. We heard that there are new opportunities being created. We heard about e-commerce. We heard how it was gradually growing year on year, but pandemic actually has changed everything. And we have seen that happen here also in the Middle East. We've seen how pandemic has the company that were digitally ready, how they have succeeded, and they've succeeded more than they were actually succeeded. They were succeeding in normal years, and we've seen companies that have actually not digitally ready. They have struggled to survive, and many have closed down. We have seen that happen with the brick and mortar retailers. We have seen that happening with many other companies. We have also heard about consumer engagement today, and what a great story about Tang, about the other one that Brainchild shared. These stories clearly show how we are moving from traditional advertising, using the electronic media, using the billboards, to internet. We know the internet knows everything. We know the companies know what we like, what we dislike, whether we like football, we like cricket, we like music, or even some other thing. They can target us. And what Fahad was talking about, first-party data, that is gold. If you can get hold of first-party data, they're getting hold of through Munchies. Sky is the limit. We are seeing things like predictive analytics now playing a very active role in many organizations. We're seeing revenue management heavily relying on predictive analytics. We're seeing track price strategies being decided through predictive analytics. So why would we say that this is not really creating opportunities for growth? This is not really transforming the way we work and we create growth.
Interesting thoughts. So I'll just move to you, Tawqeer. Would you agree with what Uzair just mentioned?
No, absolutely, yes. Actually, it goes without saying, digital transformation is, contributing a lot to the growth. What is digital transformation? It's the use of technology, rather any technology, which can help you grow your business. So in my view, there are two ways digital transformation is fueling the growth of business today. Transforming the core. When I say transforming the core, I mean, taking what you're doing today and leveraging technology to do it faster, cheaper, and more effectively. And B, getting out of the core, creating something which didn't exist. So, these are the two ways I see based on my experience, the digital transformation is fueling and helping business to grow. Look at these Fortune 50. I was looking at the slides which you showed about Fortune 20, Fortune 50 companies globally. Some of them were just startups a few decades ago. So from digital transformation perspective, irrespective of the industry we are talking about, whether it's telco, banking, manufacturing, whatever industry it is, somebody somewhere has already started this journey, in your segment of the market, and you don't want to be left behind. So I think disruption is kind of inevitable now. So all the businesses, I'm not saying the businesses will shut down immediately, but they will not sort of enjoy the growth without any induction of this digital transformation strategy in their overall outlook.
The other interesting point is, even in some of the sessions that we've talked about, we talk about Fortune 500 companies. These are, mostly operating out of the developed markets. So the relevance for this transformation, do you think it is as relevant for emerging markets, specifically Pakistan, as it is for the rest of the world?
Oh, absolutely. I think you manage the whole region, so the appetite is here, is there. Why not? We are, if I'm not wrong, we have about 160 million mobile connections out there in our country. I was just reading around 76 million internet users. So the country practically is all connected right now. So from that, my 2 cents on this is like, this digital transformation, all this connected market, connected economy has democratized the opportunity for both developed and emerging markets. So it's an opportunity for us, for Pakistan. And there are, several use cases. I think I can share those. Like one of those is like we have gone through, the investment actually is going into three areas when it comes to digital investment. One is the customer front, customer expectations. The other is the operations, where you do all this digitization or enhance your platforms. And then the third is the business model. So I can share an example on the operation side. We just rolled out one of the solution, which is DMS, Distribution Management System, and Salesforce Automation, which for PepsiCo and for another FMCG giant in Pakistan. So I won't go into the details, what were the planning, migration methodologies, change management stuff we did. It took us almost 2 years to roll it out in Pakistan. And the numbers, I can share the high-level numbers. One of the numbers was like they were foreseeing a reduction in the working capital by 43%. When you talk about the growth, so the cost is going down.
And this is their setup in Pakistan, or are
yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you. And they are also foreseeing the field sales productivity increased by 41%. So on both ends, when you talk about business, like the top line and the bottom line, so just one step, one enhancement of, including this digital platform of distribution management and Salesforce automation, they are reaping the benefits. So I think it's very relevant.
That's good. So Uzair, coming back to you. Oh, have we lost Uzair? No, you're back. You're back. Okay. What's your view on digital transformation's relevance for emerging markets? I know you have a diverse experience working in the Middle East as well.
I completely agree. If somebody in the audience thinks that what was discussed since morning, that's not relevant to them because they are not there yet, or they are evolving, and this technology and these cutting edge ideas are really future for them, then let me come back to the core solutions that has been there for quite some time for progressive companies. And we know that we cannot survive with it. And one example was just given, sales automation solution. We know Pakistan is a market where we have a big retail universe for FMCG, if we talk about. We know it's more than 500,000. I don't have the number, but it's a huge one. We know that we rely on our sales front line to sell our products. If we are not able to give them the capability that, like sales automation solution, then we are missing a big opportunity to grow, a huge opportunity to grow. And I agree that this does not bring incremental growth. It creates new opportunities. Let's look at very traditional other examples. We have seen in the last few decades our banking sector and telco sector transform. Ali Nasir shared how telco has transformed from a typical telco company. Jazz has transformed from a typical telco company to a business solution provider. And through digital transformation, through technology, you see the banking. So if we just talk about the basic digitization that banks have, will you be willing to work with a bank that does not have a decent online banking solution? Let's talk about the very basic of digitization from where we all start seeing it. ATMs. Can you imagine a bank in Pakistan even, where they don't have ATMs? No, it's not possible. So yes, digitization is very much there. You may say that I am at a different stage in my journey, but it is a given now.
Interesting. So, Mazhar Saab, I think I would like to get your view on, we understand that digital transformation is important and it has relevance in Pakistan as well now. So from your perspective, what would be the key considerations for an organization who's embarking on this journey?
Digital transformation, of course, this is the hottest subject of today. And I think whether it is developed market or emerging markets, as you people have discussed, I think everywhere, every organization, if you have to succeed, of course, you have to think of digital transformation in the organization, everywhere, in life rather. So when you come to the considerations, I think I would say 3 key considerations I will discuss. First, that you should have a clear vision, strategy, and objectives. Because if you know that you can select any technology, of course, that comes later. How you have to do, of course, that doesn't matter. But what matters is that why you have to do. That give you the purpose, sense of purpose. And that purpose is important. Sometimes we just think that, okay, this is the solution we have seen in any other organization and we can implement in our organization also. But without knowing that where we would take the organization through this type of transformation. So first, I think the purpose, why we want to do it, that should be very clear. And second, the destination, where we have to take it, this digital transformation we are talking, any initiative related to that, where we will take it, what will be the destination, that is more important. So I think if purpose and destination goal, that is clear, I think without that, it will be very difficult for you to get a technology and succeed. So this is the first thing which is very important. And second is the leadership. And very specific trait of leadership. And that is the sense of urgency. In most of the cases, we start the initiative and it goes on for ages. And we could not get the results. I know one of e-learning solution, I think Ministry of IT, I was discussing at that time, the minister said that we have been doing it for probably 5 years. And still, we are not even the halfway. And PTCL, it is a big organization. No doubt it is not like ministries, but still, of course, it has come from the same regime. So how you people have done it within few months? So that was the sense of urgency. That we have created the people that this you have to do in any case. When this type of feeling, this type of motivation you can give to your people, I think then you can do something. So key consideration for me will not be that which technology you are using. My key consideration will be that whether the people are motivated, they know that this has to be done in any case. So this is the second key consideration for me. And third, of course, in any of the transformation, be it cultural transformation or it is digital transformation, the ownership and lead by the top management, top leadership, that is important. Most of the time, I have experienced, I have seen that we bring the system, whole of the organization is using that system, and the top 2 or 3 layers, they say that, okay, whatever you do, you bring, ultimately you bring on paper or on email to us, get the approval and then incorporate.
So leading by example.
So
is what
that is, leading by example is one thing, but I think this should start, the change will start from the top. So whatever change you want to bring, practically the top leadership has to live with this change first, and then this will be cascaded downwards. And if these 3 are, you are successful in these 3 objectives, main considerations, I think then the chances of the success of any digital or any transformation, they increase.
I think this is a very comprehensive response, and I think most of our panelists would agree that you need to have a vision statement and then drive through leadership sponsor as well. Sure. But I think from a technology point of view, if I can go back to our friend Uzair, Uzair, do you think organizational sponsorship is key, but IT also plays an important role, or maybe just an enabler, or more?
Yes, definitely IT is an enabler. But I think it's much more an enabler now. IT, information technology, is influencing the business strategy. It is influencing the way the organizations are evolving. We have heard about examples. We heard about Jazz in the morning. How through digital, through technology, they have evolved from a telco to a business solution provider. We have heard about examples where we see new opportunities being created to grow. We have seen transformations happening in our banking sector. Many new products have just been created because there was technology there. Otherwise, those products would have never existed. So I think information technology has a role to influence the business strategy now, rather than being an afterthought.
Interesting. I'll just move to you, Tawqeer. We've talked about IT, but you're in a unique position whereby you're part of a large group, a local group that is into multiple products and segments. And also you work with other customer organizations. So what are some of the challenges that you've seen embarking on digital transformations or going through that change?
Okay, great. So let me add something to what Uzair just said. I think IT is business nowadays. And just to answer, add to the last question. So from the local current market perspective, I can give you an SI, because DWP Group has multiple companies, system integration, as well as we are into manufacturing, assembling as well. So what we are doing right now, we are upgrading our supply chain management system. We are actually upgrading our ERPs. We are also going for a new CRM solution, which will be cloud-based and may have some AI capabilities as well. So other than that, very quickly, I can quote you an example, like we are talking about telco. We did about 3-4 years back. There was a project. Telco has 3 domains: IT, telecom, and then IP. So they were managing systems, but they were all working in silos. The one problem they were facing was the root cause analysis. It was taking them ages to do the RCA, to manage the SLAs with their vendors and partners to serve their customers. So we went in, we deployed a solution. Once you have the data, once you start getting the data, you can actually take the things to the next level. You can then aggregate, you can then optimize stuff. So we correlated, we collected data. Then with the current available technologies, it was not possible, I would say, about 10 years back. And then we correlated all the 3 domains. And on a single pane of glass, now they have all the information which is correlated. So the RCA time has drastically go down gone down for them. And it's a big, especially from the telco perspective, when there's an issue, it's very hard to put a finger on it, but now they can do that. Similarly, in another industry, I'm talking about an organization with 3,000 plus employees. We have recently deployed a solution. They had those physical security, access controls, fire suppression systems, and all those stuff. So we went in, we deployed a solution where now all these systems are talking to each other. So it's not good for the employees because now they can even track the employee to the but that balance will be attained with the passage of time. So this is what is happening locally. One example I've already shared with you from the FMCG, the telco, and I'm talking about a manufacturing. So I think there's huge opportunity. And if somehow, from Pakistan perspective, I would say, if you can develop a digital product like mobile app or game, this morning I was just reading that, there's an institute with the name of Payoneer, and they were about, 60 billion rupees. They have different people, the freelancers and all, they have received in Pakistan. So, the momentum is already there. So it's very easy, but at the same time, you need to be careful, like as Madhur Saab just said, there are two ways. One are horizontal solutions like robotic process automation, self-service portals and all that. They are ready, they are tried and tested. They can increase your revenue, reduce your cost. But for the cutting edge and leading edge technologies, you need to be a little, not little, extremely, thoughtful and selective. You need to know what you are going for. What is your vision? Is it aligning? You are choosing the right technology partner. Is the solution roadmap is aligning to your business objectives? So I think this journey it's going to evolve, but it's happening in Pakistan. And
fantastic. Yeah. And Mazhar Saab, would you like to add some of the challenges that you personally or your organization faced during this journey? I'm sure you went through a consolidation process as well. Maybe that's you can give us a view around that as well.
I think if I start the challenges, so then it will be, I require a lot of time. But just key challenges I would discuss. Because we are talking now digital transformation. So we of course had this Microsoft Teams, Google's, Zoom, everything we had. And this we had around 3-4 years back. And we were thinking that people should come here. We arranged trainings, we arranged seminars, tried to convince the people that we have to implement this. You can do it, work from home, or other. And we had the resistance, complete resistance. Hardly we could manage few people rather that they were doing, rather we ourselves. My team, they are here. I should not admit, but most of the time they were saying, Madhur Saab, you come to webinar, please. Amjad is here. I said that I will certainly come. And then it was not. So I always, whenever you are bringing any change, resistance is there. So this is the biggest challenge to transformation. And I discussed this sense of urgency and, of course, the push. When this happened, COVID happened, believe you me, within 2 weeks, whole of the organization, we are not like Jazz or we are not like Ufone rather, PDCL is not like Ufone or any other organization. This is a big organization. We have 22,000 employees and they have come from the set mindset, very high age. Average age is probably 48, 49 years. But so it was really, we were feeling that we will not be able to do it. But within 2-3 weeks, whole of the organization was transformed and everyone was using the system. And that was a surprise. So this gives an example that when you have the challenge, you have to pursue. Your pursuance, I think that can resolve that challenge. I give you an example, another example. I think that will be interesting for many people here. We have a very, very big contact centers in Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad. And those contact centers, around 2 years back, a proposal was submitted to the board, and they agreed to that, but management was not ready that this contact center can be shifted to the houses of the agents. So this was going on, and it was shelved rather. The project was shelved, that it is not possible for the time being. The readiness of the organization is not there. Again in the COVID, we sat all management, and because everybody said that this is the most risky place, because 300 to 400 people, they are sitting in one big hall. So it was a big risk. And I think hardly few of the people know that within, again, 1 to 2 weeks, all agents, we closed the contact center without disturbing the systems. All calls were being received. So you don't know that the persons who were responding, they were from the home, they were responding. And this was even this initiative, I tell you that even in Etisalat, all OPCOs, and within the country, PTCL was the first one which implemented this. So again, the challenges practically comes from the mindset. So if you put in place the right mindset, right environment, and give the conviction to the to the people, those challenges can be overcome.
I think this is a very important point, and I'll just like to summarize based on the discussion that we've had from the panel. So first of all, for all the naysayers, I think one thing is proven, that there is digital transformation and it has a practical impact on business growth. And secondly, for us to embark on that journey, especially an emerging country like Pakistan, where we have a limitation for change, a compelling event is as an important point as a driver, which in this particular case, maybe it was COVID, it was life-threatening, because of which we were able to do a lot of those changes. And lastly, for any organization embarking on this journey, we need to have executive sponsorship, something which Mazhar Saab and the rest of the panel alluded to also, to lead by example, to tell the organization that this is the future that they're going to be working towards. Thank you, gents, for all your time. Thank you
very much
for joining.
Thank you.